All right. I think we're live up in this bitch. Gotta pause the other video or the feed. See people in the chat. All right. So what's up, everybody? This Juice Opinions is gonna cover. Oh shit! Running over my cord or something? What the fuck? It's gonna cover the topic of the value of games, and specifically regarding the dumb comment about Link's Awakening not being worth $60 because it's a 2D game. I know, but trust me, we'll talk about that. And the reason I got Hellblade up on screen is because Hellblade is a good way to discuss this whole value thing, because this is a Unreal Engine 4 game, one of the system pushing type of game visually, has one of the best character model, like facial achievements, I think, in gaming. Especially the eyes are amazing. Why does it ask me to continue? I thought I signed into my other Steam account. Shit, I don't want to start over. I don't want my two Steam accounts to save. All right, what's going on? All right, I logged in. It says I played for 5 minutes, but it has my email. God damn it. Let's see. Library sharing. Yep. I don't want to wipe out my save, though. So, I guess we gotta try it. The whole point of this game, as I was saying, is it's Unreal Engine 4 is pushing, visuals. And how's the audio, you guys that are listening? It's really loud in my ear, but I never know. How was that Unreal logo super loud? I don't want to get too far in and have the game audio be so loud you can't hear me. I dropped the audio level down. Alright. Man. You want to share all previous game? What the hell? I had created a second Steam account just so I wouldn't do this. And I don't want you guys to see spoiler stuff later on. Alright. What the fuck? Is it probably because I'm playing on the same computer? Man, sorry for the technical difficulties, but I'm gonna hide that this time. So, why does it only show one game under this account? Yep, family sharing. Somebody knows how to. I wanted separate save files. Could be because it's under the same email address. Damn it. Damn. Yeah, I should have tested this out before I started. What is this? Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Trying to... Now it's only showing the one game. I did the whole... Copy the save file straight from the folders. I don't know where that is. But I have it shared. Family, shared, authorized sharing on this computer. See, it shows them under Terminator Juice's games. I created Terminator Juice Alternate, which I'm signed into. This is weird. Yeah, I kind of wanted to play the beginning to really get my point across. Fuck. Backup game files. No. It's just weird. I created the second account. Where do you think the files are there? Oh, Retro Death. Yeah, I tried using a different email account, but when I verified the email through my phone, through Gmail, it didn't work. So I used the same email address for both accounts, and that might be... Why, you'd think it shows, teach usage shared. You'd think you'd have a separate save files. Backup and restore games. Go offline, change account. Well, I don't fucking know. You guys are just gonna have to possibly see spoilers. Yeah, Retro, I don't know if I wanna. I don't know if I want to risk your plan. I don't know if I trust you. So anyway, sorry. This has been riveting. And now it's not showing the game. There it goes. God, that's so fucking loud. Why is that so loud in my ear? So, as I was saying, sorry, getting back into it, I'm going to discuss the value of games. This was a $30 game at launch, still $30. It is a full Unreal Engine pushing graphics, but it was a budget title. They spent $10 million on the game and like $3 million on advertising, and maybe I can just turn around. And of course, it's playing like slow as shit right now. Probably because I'm streaming. If I go to 1080, then it plays all messes up the ratio and aspect ratio. But man, this is playing really slow. So just not having good results. See what happens. See, that's what I was talking about. I go over here and it fucking completely messes up. But we'll try it. It's playing a little bit better. So anyway, and then this transitions well into the other topic about Switch games, third-party, ports and stuff, and if they, if they run bad or are they worth it? Discussion I want to have. So I guess I won't play as much of this as I thought. Of course, it looks dark on my second screen because my monitor is not as bright. But I mean, character model. She doesn't like to look at the camera. Phenomenal. The visuals are really impressive, and this was a $30 game because. Not because of anything to do with visuals or, the graphics engine or anything. It's because it's about a 6-hour experience with some cutscenes. And from what I can tell, they didn't really try to do anything with, like, replay value. It's not an action game. There's no combos. There's no replaying levels to get a higher score type of thing. It's kind of I think you'll play it 2 times, maybe 3 times tops in your life. Definitely after the first half I've been playing, about 3.5 hours in, I got a very, I'm loving the game, but it's also like, it's depressing. And if you don't know, it's about Senua here, the main character, is hearing voices. They call it psychosis, and she's like going crazy. Went through a traumatic thing, which I haven't fully, something to do with her husband's death. And they just realize, hey, this is a risk game for them because they funded it themselves, Ninja Theory, before Microsoft bought them. And they're like, well, what can we do? Is this a $60 game? Will people buy it? And people would have bought it, but they decided to make it $30 to pretty much help sell it, and I think that was probably a big factor why it was successful. But mostly they just realized it wasn't a super long game. They didn't spend a ton, and the thing that I've been saying for a long time, especially with the Wii U ports and stuff, is if you price a game enticing enough, you're gonna probably make that money back up in the quantity of game or copies you're going to sell versus the if it was full price. They said they sold like 500,000 copies in like the first 3 months. At $60, it might have been 100,000. I mean, there's no way to track for sure, but for $30, that was an easy purchase, especially as visually impressive as this game is, and it was a good strategy. I said that about Captain Toad. Well, Captain Toad's $40, but Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on Switch, if that was $40, how many more people would have bought that game? How many people would have, like myself, would have considered double dipping, especially with the Best Buy discount at the time? For $32, I would have had that, and I probably would have rebought it because, that would have been enticing enough. And same thing for a lot of ports. Shadow of the Colossus remake on PS4 was $40. I mean, easy purchase. 60, I don't know. I might have passed. So the value of a game is not just in it's not just simple. It's not like, oh, look at this, look at these amazing visuals, $60. Look at this character model, like $60 for sure. It's 3D. I can move the camera around, $60. Or, oh, it's a 100-hour game. That's 60. If it's a 10-hour game, it's only worth 40. And I lost the chat. Let me move it. And it's like, yeah, I mean, if you start going down that road, there's a lot of things you could look to, and something might happen here. I'm going further than, and I'm about halfway through the game. I don't know if there's gonna be a cutscene or anything, but there's so much that goes into it. But you know, oh, get some combat. Nope, it's a cutscene. This was actually shown in the trailer. I've seen this. But Uncharted 4 was 15 hours with 7 hours of cinematics. Let me just pause that. So if you take away the cinematics, it's a 7-hour game, same length as this. In my opinion, out of all the games I own right now, Uncharted 4 is one of the main ones I feel wasn't worth a $60 purchase based on the content in the game. You know, yeah, you're paying for, you know, an 8-hour movie basically on top of the gameplay. I guess I can understand that argument, but you know, basically it's just, you can't just narrow it down to one thing. And you know, so getting to the main reason I'm even talking about this was Real Gamer. I saw somebody replied to him, or somebody screen capped his statement about a Link's Awakening being a 2D game. Is it worth $60? I know the answer. And basically acting like, minimize this. Basically acting like it ain't worth the money based on the art style. So let's just watch the Link's Awakening trailer real quick. And he was saying it was a 2D game, which is, I mean, it's not fucking 2D game. It's a 3D game with a locked camera, with a fixed camera. I don't know why anyone could confuse that, but anyway, watch this. I was already watching it, but we'll get to the actual gameplay. And I mean, to be fair, some people might not feel this is a worth a while purchase for them. Oh, that's great. That's reflecting the green, and let me minimize it. That's super bright. But obviously this is a 3D game. These are 3D visuals, 3D character models, 3D trees. It's just a fixed camera. And in these areas here, it's like, so Mizzah Tee did a response. That's the only reason I'm doing this. And he was pretty nice. Let's just say he was pretty nice about the whole thing. And I'm not so nice about it. So let me bring the chat over here. I'll boot up a different game in a little bit. Man, why the fuck? It's like, won't let me expand that. There we go. And I'm just like, are you a fucking gamer? So now, oh fuck, I know what's going on. That's why I didn't want to change the fucking resolution, because it fucks up everything. It's so stupid. Damn you, free OBS. Damn you. There we go. What is going on? Am I still live? Yeah, it looks like it. And are you a real gamer? Real gamer? Because now I mean, you said 2D, but I know what you meant. The fixed camera. So a locked camera. So now that has anything to do with the value of a game. Now, Link's Awakening was originally a Game Boy game, so it's not the longest Zelda game. So if you were going to make a point about Link's Awakening being worth 60, you could have been like, if they leave it very, like identical lengthwise to the Game Boy game, then is it worth 60? Because I only played through it one time a while ago. I don't remember it. Felt like a pretty pretty lengthy game, but it's no 40-hour game. I mean, I would guess it's probably closer to 10, 12 hours. So I don't know. You could make that argument, but to actually act like the camera perspective has anything to do with the value of a game, it reminds me of Octopath Traveler. Now, that's even more 2D with, you know, but it's a trick. It's 3D with 2D looking sprites and stuff. And, you know, people can question if that was worth $60, and everybody I know that's played it and beat it, it's got over 80 hours in the game, and you're like, oh, so an 80-hour game's not worth $60? Like, I don't get that. That makes the reason it wasn't worth $60 to me is because it's a turn-based JRPG. That's the only reason. Make myself bigger here. That is the only reason it wasn't worth $60 to me, is because it's a game I know I'd get bored playing. Like, who gives a shit about the art style, the art direction, the camera perspective? Order 1886 has some of the best looking games this generation, like Mizzah Tee said. Still holds up as a graphical showcase. Very limited gameplay and super short length, very similar to Hellblade, except I think with cutscenes, if I remember correctly, Order was like under 7 hours. It was like 5 hours if you skip the cutscenes. And that, of course, it didn't do well. But that's graphically, camera perspective, how can that be your argument? Like, and this is all subject. Like, I don't think the graphics and camera angle are subjective in when it comes to value of a game. It's just, is the game interesting to you? Is it a game you think is worth buying? But then for me, the price starts getting into, well, how much actual playtime is there? How much gameplay is there? You know, is there replay value? If I had paid $60 for Hellblade, found out it was a 6-hour game with probably not much replay value from what I see, I'd be upset. But they charged $30 from day one. Like I said earlier, Shadow of the Colossus remake, $40 from day one, and you know, that's not a super long game. But you know, if that was $50 or $60, I still might have bought that one in particular. So it's really subjective. If it's a game that interests you, then just about any game could be worth $60. You know, Platonics. This is the one that really gets me. So they crowdfunded Ukulele. It was one of the most successful crowdfunded games. Forget how many millions it made, 2 or 3 million, whatever it was. And so they make the game, and when it comes out, they're asking $40 for a crowdfunded game. Now, and it's a 3D puzzle platformer, and you know, that's I don't know the length of the game, but for me, they already got the money for the game. That always bugged me because, you know, and everybody who crowdfunded got a copy of the game, and if you put it a certain amount, but your game was already pretty much paid for, and then you're going to charge $40 for it as an indie game that was already paid for by the people. That to me just felt greedy, and I can't say whether or not the game was worth $40 as a game, but I can tell you the principle of it. For me, I could not justify paying $40 for a game that was people funded that game, paid for its development, and now you're asking almost top dollar for a game. So, and Resident Evil 2 is one of the best $60 purchases I've made in a long, you know, probably, well, since Smash, and then before then, it's been a long time. Resident Evil 2 is one of the best games. Probably the best game on the PlayStation 4, in my opinion, honestly. Easily worth $60. Ground up remake. Not the longest game, though. I played through it twice, and I had 14 hours. I did the 2 playthroughs, first with Claire, then with Leon. I'm definitely going to keep playing it. But it was a super enjoyable experience. It's a game, like I said, I will go back to. Maybe not maybe when there's a little bit of a lull of releases, I definitely want to keep playing that game. You know, but it's subjective. If you didn't enjoy a game, then it's not even worth. It doesn't matter. It's not worth $20. If you didn't like a game, it's not worth 20. If you're not interested in a game, it's not worth $1 to you. So, but to say because of the art style, the fixed camera, to me, you lose your gaming card right there. That's just the dumbest thing I've seen in a long time on Twitter, and yeah, it just boggles my mind. The next thing I want to talk about real quick is Yoshi's Crafted World, and the Juice is Loose guys, and even Red Knight can back me up when I said as soon as that demo came out, I played it. What was that direct on a Wednesday or Thursday? On a Friday, and I was like, man, I don't know about, am I crazy, or is Yoshi look pretty blurry? I said it's looking pretty low res to me, but still loved the game, still enjoyed the game. And then of course Digital Foundry comes out on Monday, and they do a analysis on the demo, and they find that in docked mode the game runs between like 540p or 520 and 640, whatever it is, and it's upscaled via the Switch. And I was like, hey, I wasn't crazy. Like, I was right, you know. Still love the game. It's still a day one. That demo was amazing. It's still a day one purchase. But I'm not one of those people that just because I like something, I'll just ignore any faults or flaws. In my opinion, a little bit of blurriness is a minor flaw. I feel it's a bummer because it's a little bit of a step backwards compared to Woolly World, except for I can understand Crafted World's got a lot more going on. It's actually a 3D game, fully but with a locked 2D perspective, and you walk on a locked 2D plane, but a full 3D world where they blur out the background with the depth of field effect. But just even the Yoshi texture and stuff just looks a little bit blurred to me. And I'm not one of those people who thinks there's gonna be some miraculous improvement in 5 weeks when the game launches, because they did the same thing with Kirby Star Allies last year, and the demo visuals were the same as the final game demo visuals. But I just wanted to talk about. It's a little bright over here. I just want to talk about the people who. There's two people on the. In my opinion, there's two extremes. There's the it's sub HD. I ain't playing that trash. I don't care. I'm not playing it. And then there's the game looks beautiful. You guys, I don't know what you're talking about. How you graphics whores? I don't know. The game looks amazing to me. It's like, all right, so the people who won't play it because it's sub 720, you're not a gamer. You're not a real gamer, in my opinion. So you're the most irrelevant. But the other one is almost, it's a head scratcher to me, because unless you just don't have good vision, there's nothing wrong with pointing out like, hey, that's a little blurry. Hey, that texture is pretty low quality. I love Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but when you get up to whatever the top that place they went, and it's this desolate, spoilers, there's an area that's a desolate like desert looking area, and there's like N64 textures on a couple of the walls, because they probably figure most people aren't gonna go to the very edge of this area like I did and find these ugly textures. That was still my number 2 game of the year in 2017. So that I just don't understand why you have to defend something and ignore obvious things when just because you like something. I just never understood that mindset. So and if you really think about it, and I was just playing Yoshi in portable mode for the first time, and it looks great. I think it looks fine. I think it looks way better than what Digital Foundry said, like 360p. It looks really clean to me in portable mode. And I think like I'm going to talk about later, they really just made sure the portable mode looked good. It's docked. All right. It's running Unreal Engine 4 at 60 frames locked. They're going to have to make sacrifices. But it's really the first time I can think of, and I watch I think I watch every Nintendo game on Digital Foundry since the Wii U came out. And I can't think of another game, first-party Nintendo release, that runs under 720p native. Because the Wii U, the whole generation, that was the bottom, end, and I think Smash was the only 1080p game. They didn't do the scalable resolution or the adaptive resolution, so those games looked really sharp on the Wii U. But as I was saying earlier, I can love a game like Super Mario Odyssey, and then if you zoom in on like the ground texture and the desert area, from zoomed out, it's like nice and sparkly, looks really good. Close up, that texture doesn't hold up. But it's what they had to do to get a 60 frames lock with a 3D Mario game running at 900p, which, if that can run at 900p, I don't know why Yoshi can't run at 720. So maybe there's a chance by the time the game releases it will be higher. But, still day one. I played through the demo almost like 2 full times, and I was just playing through it again in handheld mode. And, it's not a big issue. It is a little bit of a head scratcher in that, Nintendo's not usually one to make that sacrifice. Usually their games push their hardware better than anyone else. And, so it's just kind of an unusual situation, but it just brought out, in my opinion, the two extremes, the Super Defense Force, and then it's 2019. I got a 4K TV. I ain't gonna play sub HD visuals, and it's like, that's stupid. That's just, in my opinion, that's stupid. There's no way I'm gonna miss out on another quality Yoshi platformer because it doesn't run at 720p or higher. But I can still. No, Unreal Engine 4 is, if you watch as much as I do from Digital Foundry stuff, even the Xbox One struggles with Unreal Engine 4. Most of the games are 30 frames per second, and the Xbox One version has usually a big drop in level of detail, like foliage and stuff has to take big hits on the base Xbox. Obviously not the X, but that's just a known fact. If you're trying to do 30 or 60, this is the first time anyone's tried to do 60 on the Switch with Unreal Engine. All the other games have been 30, from Fortnite to Snake Pass. Rocket League's Unreal Engine 3. It's the last, it's before Unreal Engine 4, so that runs at 60, but took pretty big graphical hit. So it's an engine that really, it's scalable, but the lower end of the scale is less desirable, and it's very CPU heavy, which is something the Switch just doesn't have as far as clock speeds and stuff. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. And then the thing I want to lead into, and let me see if I can get out and get the other game up that I wanted to. Let me switch this back to 1440 before I forget. And then I come over here, shrink myself back down, confirm. All right, good there. Man, I really wish, I got to figure out how to have my alternate account. Have a separate save file. I want to figure that out for other situations like this. So the last thing I want to talk about is when a company ports a game to the Switch, and the sacrifices they have to make, and I talked about this when Doom and Wolfenstein 2 got announced. At what point are the sacrifices too great, and does it make the game not worth even having on the Switch? So, yeah, that's true, Ace Tech. Kingdom Hearts 3 runs at 720p 30 on the base Xbox. Has the full effects, I think, as the PS4 version, but you're talking, yeah, Travis Strikes Again, yeah, one of the most simplistic looking games runs at 60, but you're right, it's another one. So Trials Rising open beta hit today, and I saw a video about the Switch version versus the Xbox version. So what I could do, well, let's play. And I'm a Trials expert. I've been playing Trials for the last 2 games, so be jealous of these skills. Actually, I'm not that good at this one yet. It's been a while. I'm gonna play through this level. It's on PC, but the Xbox version looks very similar. Plays pretty. I mean, on Switch it plays fine. And actually in portable mode it don't look too bad. But it's so, I mean, it's so fucking blurry. Makes Yoshi look like fucking 4K in comparison. That's not really an exaggeration. Oh, I'm getting beat. Just don't crash. That's all. Ooh, almost bet it. Brah. Did I get gold? Yep. Crushed it. So this game's coming to Switch. I was pretty excited when they first announced it. Alright, why is the music still coming through? I don't know. I'm having all kinds of issues today. Fucking close the game. What the fuck? That's weird. Usually when I minimize... Oh, I know why. It's probably windowed. Let me look. It's borderless. Let me just... fuck. Audio was loud. Let me just mute that shit. There we go. Alright, come over here. Make this full screen best I can. Alright, now I'm going to show you that level. I probably should just click on a fucking video that someone uploaded it. That's what I'll try. Let me try that. I was going to hold it up to my webcam, but that's probably a dumb idea. Whiteout. Let's look at Trials Rising Switch and see if we can't. Somebody uploaded. Alright. So you just seen me play this level, right? I know it's been a second, but notice any difference? Anybody notice anything different? Like, I don't know if this is just an aesthetic they wanted to try on the Switch version, or if this is what they have to do to get this game to run. But even the motorcycle and rider look absolutely like 6th gen level. So let's go to another level. So this one isn't as... This doesn't have all the fog. But it's not a very clean looking version of the game. But again, this level definitely is a better. I haven't seen this level on PC, so let's look at Xbox. There's no other Trials game on Switch, by the way. It's exclusive, or not exclusive. This is the first and only one. Oh, so this looks like the level, yep. So this is the same level. I probably should do like a side by side. So definitely not as big of a departure. This is 60. But I can tell you from playing it on my TV that it's pretty low res, and it doesn't look great. So the question is, where's the line? Where is the line when it's just not worth putting on the system, because it obviously can't. God, that's fucking loud. Everything's so fucking loud in my ear.
Hey guys.
I didn't mean to click on a guy who's talking. Where's the video I just watched? Right here. Shit. So I'm gonna let this play and just kind of talk. Actually, no, fuck that. Let me get the game back. Let me play it. Let me just play. So, another game that's going to be real interesting, in my opinion, is going to be Mortal Kombat. Why can't I see my cursor? Jesus Christ. What the fuck? My cursor's not on screen. That's cool. Mortal Kombat 11's coming to Switch in April. And we know it's a fighting game. It's always been 60 FPS, other than maybe Mortal Kombat 4 on the N64. I'm not sure about that one. So what's it going to do on the Switch? What are they going to have to do to get it running at 60? We'll have to wait and see. But I have a feeling resolution's going to be a main one. And then the detail of the character, I think the character models are going to take a hit. So we'll find out, you know, are they going to go to 30? Because I think that would be a big mistake for a fighting game. Like in Rocket League, they have that 30 frames per second option. And it's fucking garbage. Makes the game pretty much unplayable, in my opinion. So what would be... no, there's no other Trials games, Grimpachi. Jesus Christ. There's other games that are ripoffs of Trials. Trials is an IP. Trials Evolution, Trials Fusion, and Trials Rising is the new one. There's wannabe copycat games, but Trials is an IP. But anyway, where is the line for you guys? For, alright, it's not worth putting on the Switch. You know, we talked about resolution, you got frame rate. I was one who was like, there's no way Doom's going to be good on the Switch because it's 30 frames per second. That's a 60 frames per second game. And they found a way to make 30 frames feel fast and fluid. And that was the important part. Yeah, it took other sacrifices. It was, resolution. Fuck. but they left all the visual effects intact. All the lighting and of particles, all that stuff, is intact. But they went with resolution as and frame rate as the two things, and it turned out a pretty pleasant experience. I could look. I want to say 30 hours, 35, 40 hours on the Switch. Let me look. It was an enjoyable experience. Jesus Christ. So I was wrong about that, about Doom. So I might, there might be other games where you think it's not going to play good. I got 55 hours on the Switch version of Doom. So, when I first heard the announcement, I was like, no way. I can run it at high settings, 60 frames per second on PC. Why would I get it on Switch? I had a really good deal. Picked it up. 55 hours later, I played the shit out of the game. So, that's, in my mind, that was going to be, shit, I wanted the other bike. That was going to be terrible. So, Mortal Kombat 11, a fighting game. Is there any way that they could make 30 feel smooth and fluid? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever played a fighter at 30, so I don't know. But if the resolution is so low that the game looks, it's hard to see what the fuck's going on, that would be a pretty big deal breaker. Performance, obviously, not just what the frame rate target is, but does it hit it, would be one. Fighting games are almost always locked, and I would be shocked if they would release an unlocked Switch version. Oh, fuck. Ooh, saved it. The online is another factor without, game invites and shit. That could be something. Has nothing to do with visuals, but would be a negative of the being on the Switch. Oh shit. Fuck. Messed that one up. So, just getting back to the Trials port. And it's a demo. The game comes out next week. If they somehow, it's miraculous improvement. I played this part, and you couldn't even see that there was like the back of this warehouse. It was just solid like blues and purples. Still played relatively well, and someone could argue that's all that matters. Get it? But it's, ooh, I'd be mad if that didn't count. So yeah, it's just a question of the Switch is underpowered, obviously, but there's been good ports. If somebody isn't up to the task, the quality isn't there, it's a bad port, like that Ark game. Obviously, goddamn, I keep picking that stupid bike. Ark obviously is an example of just wasn't worth porting. I don't think we're gonna see anything that bad from someone as established as Mortal Kombat. But in my opinion, playing this on PC, which the Xbox version is gonna be similar, and then seeing what the sacrifices made for the Switch version, it's gonna be really hard for me to play when I have the option. So it's like, oh, just graphics sort, But when you have other options, what's your decision? Controllers. I like all the controllers pretty equal. I can play with any controller. Playing with the Xbox One controller right now. And I was playing earlier with the PS4 controller with Hellblade. And playing Pro Controller for Trials with, the Switch beta. And it was fine. Gameplay wise. I just had a lot of trouble With the blurry visuals kind of affected. I'm just telling what's going on the screen, and appreciating that these games don't push. That's the other thing. These games aren't pushing anything visually. Like, there's really no reason. Ubisoft's involved. Starlink looks fucking great on the Switch. Like, it looks, resolution-wise, it looks fucking really good. Alright, let's do this. And Hellblade, I was trying to play earlier, that's coming to Switch. That has trouble on base Xbox One. What sacrifices... That was already 30 frames per second on Xbox and PlayStation. What fucking sacrifices do they have to make to get that game running on the Switch? I know level of detail is one, because that was a big one between the PS4 and the base Xbox, was like the foliage. What? Let me try that again. So I'm guessing that game's going to be like 480p in dock mode. But it's with the, it's a great game. I wouldn't want to miss it. I wouldn't want somebody to miss it, so I would recommend it. If that's your only option, then I would say you don't have a choice. I'm lucky enough to have multiple options. Uh-oh. I knew that was trouble. Bronze. So yeah, I mean, also depends, like I didn't say earlier, I just said it now. It depends on what systems you have. If you don't have a choice, then you're probably like, oh, I'm not complaining. I get Trials, I get Mortal Kombat, I get Hellblade, games I was never able to play. From that perspective, then yeah, it's gonna be worth it. But for somebody, this whole time, without having clarified, I'm speaking from a multi-console owner and PC owner. So, save that shit. So, that's definitely a factor. Why did I blow up? Damn. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, it's just depends on your perspective, whether the game's valuable to you, whether the port's worth it. I'm giving you my opinion. Yeah, Grimpachi makes a good point. If you don't play the Switch Portable, then that takes a huge part of the appeal of getting the Switch version. Now, Trials is the type of game that I could turn on my lunch at work. I would take this to work. It's the type of game that that works in that short time span. Like, give me 15 minutes and I try to beat a level without crashing. So I'm going to play this exact same level. Obviously, you won't be able to see it. I'm going to try to play the same level on here on the Switch, just to give you one-to-one, like one right after the other. So doesn't have all the fog. There's not like wind effects hiding the backgrounds. The flame effect on my bike looks pretty terrible. Looks like something off PlayStation 1, but it's not bad. Oh fuck, crashed. But just as a gameplay experience, I mean, it feels like the same game, that's important. I'm guessing this is 60 frames per second. Better be with all the sacrifices they made. But yeah, it is the same game, so I mean, anyone who was thinking that, I'm saying it. Sure, this is fun watching me look down. But portable mode seems to be kind of the go-to, like the benchmark Like they just shoot for, hey, let's make sure it runs in portable mode and looks decent, and then the docked version gets kind of less focus. I think Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is one of the few games where I really feel like they focused entirely on docked mode first, and they're like, oh shit, we got to make this run. We got to make this run in portable mode. What do we do? Well, let's just kill the resolution, pixelate the hell out of the image, and do the best we can. And I actually applauded them. If you guys look back, way back, I applauded them for that because they were the only ones who did it. Everyone else was like, oh, portable mode first, and then let's minor improvements to docked. And that's how most games do it. I think Doom looks really good in portable mode. I mean, on that screen, it looks... Then I docked it, and I'm like, whoa, it looks like shit. In portable mode, on that screen, looks closer to PS4 on a big TV, you know? So, if portable mode is a big thing for you, then basically this whole Juice Opinions hasn't been for you, because if that's something you do, then that's a huge selling point. I mean, I don't know about Mortal Kombat 11. If you play in portable mode, you play online, because that's fighting games. Life is online. You know, they get pretty stale pretty fast offline. So, you know, a game like Trials, it's got a lot of online all the time stuff, but you can play it offline and be a single player experience just fine. Hellblade, completely single player, no online, and you know, that right there. If you're like, oh my god, I love my Switch because I take it everywhere, I get to play all these games on the go, I rarely ever dock it, then yeah, this whole Juice Opinions has been pretty much irrelevant for you. If that's you, whoever you are, I'm sure there's people watching it that will be in that category, then hell yeah, play Hellblade, get it on the Switch. It's the same price, and I have a feeling it's going to look pretty good on that screen. Trials looks a little bit better in portable mode on my 65-inch. It looked pretty bad. Mortal Kombat 11, yet to be seen, and Doom Eternal, yet to be seen. But, you know, it's nice as a Nintendo fan to know these games are coming, but at the same time, when they do come, you want them to be good, and you want them to represent the best the Switch can do. And you know, I feel like the beta version of Trials in docked mode is not the best the Switch can do. Like there's no excuse for a game like that. Doesn't have a whole lot going on. There's a training level where you jump in, it looks like a roller coaster, and when you are at the top of the jump, the background's off screen, and when you land at the bottom, the background comes in. Let me find it. See if I can find a video of that. There's like a half second of pop-in, and it's like, I mean, they're just like basic geometric shapes of buildings in the background, you know. Let's see if this video I watched, if they go to that area. What's this one? So here's I didn't got to this level yet. So I mean, look how basic. Let me make myself smaller. Oops. Look how basic these structures are. Let me get back to the beginning and make it full size. I lost my cursor. There it is. I mean, these are some basic ass backgrounds. Like, there's hardly textures on it. You see a bunch of pop-up. This level doesn't look as bad. You know, that first level with all the storm and stuff, that must have just been an aesthetic thing. But this person's obviously good. He can play the game. It's just a question of if you have other options. Portable mode's not really your thing. Then is there any reason other than to support third-party games on a Nintendo system is there any like legitimate? This guy's really good. And, legitimate reason to get it if you have other systems, and maybe you just love the Pro Controller. Like, that's fine. I think these play better with the analog triggers. You get quite a bit more precision. Obviously, it's playable without. Oh, that sucks. It's highly playable. Let me see what this last level looks like. But oh, I wonder what this looks like on Xbox, because there's not a lot going on in the background. There's, in my opinion, with all the sacrifices I'm seeing, I don't see a reason that the game should look as blurry as it does. So maybe the final game, they've ironed some stuff out, but and probably like there's probably people like, oh my god, what a fucking rezo hoe, But again, I got every option, so I have a little more to think about when it comes to buying a game. Glad it's on Switch, and if you never played a Trials game, they're 2D action puzzle games, in my opinion. The puzzle is figuring out like how fast you got to go, what you got to bunny hop, how you got to get to past certain obstacles. So it's a fun game, and I'm glad people will be able to play it, just like Hellblade. But if you have other options, why wait till April for Hellblade when it's going to be the same price? If you have a PS4, Xbox One, or PC, and now you're intrigued by the game, maybe you didn't know it existed. The game isn't 2D. It's a 2D perspective with 3D character models, just like fucking Yoshi. Yeah, I'm just done. I'm done with your other account, Grimpachi, or I think that's you. I don't know why you do too. It makes no sense, but yeah, and if it's an older game, Subliminal Line brings up a good point. Obviously, it's going to be cheaper, but with a game like Hellblade, it's the same price. Trial's going to be the same price. Mortal Kombat's going to be the same price on all systems. But as I was saying, Hellblade, if you're like me, you kind of forgot about the game. Oh, it's come to Switch. I looked into it a little bit, watched the developer diaries. I'm like, man, that looks cool. Why wait till April? Well, I don't play in portable mode. Why wait till April? I can play this game now. And I got, 3 hours here. There's on my phone app, it shows 3.5. A little more detail. It has more. It has decimal 3.5. So why would I wait? So I'm glad I didn't. Oh, that's not your other account, Grimpachi? Is that your buddy? It's one or the other. Anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. Had some issues. I still want to figure out how to have a different save file for my 2 Steam accounts. Yes, I mean, older games, when they take a while to port to Switch, obviously there's a cheaper option on the other systems. If you have the other option, if you have other systems, it's silly to wait unless you just really want to support third-party games on the Switch. And I have no problem supporting a good game. Like if Trials, I'll have to see the final product. I feel like it's going to be the same. If they just didn't make so many sacrifices, I'm going to try it again. I'll play it on my TV again, dock it, play all the levels, go through the whole demo. And then I'll see. But it's like, why would I buy it on the Switch? Other than the few times I might take it portably and play it. That's the question. That's really what I'm struggling with. That's what I've been thinking about a lot lately since I got finally got the Xbox. I haven't upgraded my PC in a few years, the graphics card, since 2016, but it still plays games rather well. So, like, I got all these options, and the other negative about the Switch is they usually compress the games to get them, smaller file sizes, because Nintendo's just stubborn about giving us more fucking internal memory. and they just won't do it, and I don't know why. I understand you weren't sure the Switch was going to be a success or not. 32 gigs, you can cut costs everywhere you could. The thing's a huge hit. Give us a goddamn 128 gigs or something internal. Because the negative of these small file sizes is the compression affects audio more or as much or more than any other aspect of the game. People talk about resolution, texture quality, all that goes into the compression. The audio is the biggest hit. I'm playing Daemon X Machina demo, and I can't even tell if I'm shooting my gun. There's hardly any audio. There's no surround sound going on. Trials rising on Switch and docked. Minimal audio, hardly any impact from explosions. I'm going to play it on Xbox to see. So that's just another negative for me. In Doom had weird audio glitches, and it just felt like a low quality MP3 versus back in the day. If you're old enough, there was no standard in the early days, and some MP3s would be they put like 10,000 songs on a couple hundred megabytes or whatever, a gig, and the quality was just ass. And it just feels like, for me to get the game on the Switch, there's really got to be a great port to start, or a great version. And it's because I want to play with my Switch friends, that would be the main thing. And if it's like, oh yeah, that would be cool to play portably, or, I want that digitally on my Switch, so I always have it. And, it's my main console, so that's why I want it on there. That's kind of where I'm looking right now. Or, Starlink. It's got Star Fox content. It's got exclusive content. That's going to be the things that get me to buy the Switch version. Because right now, it's basically, I think, PC first. But then I'm like, all right, I like playing on PC, but I just prefer to, if there's no online or anything, then I'm going to look to the PS4 next. That's what I did for Resident Evil 2. I want a reason to turn the system on. B, if it has no online, then it's better than the Xbox version, because I don't have as many graphical sacrifices. It usually runs better, because PS4 is usually the lead platform. So for me, the Xbox version is the last option, and it's only if it's an exclusive like Forza Horizon 4, or a free-to-play game like Apex Legends, or another game that has great online that's not on Switch. I'd probably get it to play with Red Knight, So anyway, I've rambled on way too long. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And shit, it's after 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna play some video games, and hopefully this made any kind of sense. And I feel like I've been on air for way too long, over an hour. So I'm gonna get out of here, and we'll see you next time.